Hello Malaysians, welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much. For this video, I would just like to do two things. One is to thank all Malaysians for being such a good host to all the leaders of ASEAN and other countries, especially also to Mr. Trump, the President of the United States. I would like to also thank Mr. Trump for being such a good guest in our country, and I will explain why I thought so. And then I would like also to extend a great or a big thank you to the police for keeping those people who were not thinking about the future of this country by demonstrating at to me a wrong time, as well as in a manner unbecoming of our adab. And those are then lastly, I would also like to answer some of the critics with regard to the government having Trump and his actions here, that to them shows what we call to them something that is not a good thing for Malaysia. Now, firstly, I would like to thank all Malaysians for refraining to attend any of these demonstrations that said to be of concern for humanitarian aspects with regards to the Palestinian. But I fail to see many of these people having any demonstrations about other atrocities in the world. And so I don't really support such demonstrations because I think it's mainly about one particular religion, and also it's always done not in a manner that what I would consider Islamic, or in a manner that what I would consider good for Malaysia. We need to balance that. Yes, we are concerned about the Palestinians, but it doesn't mean that we are to act unruly and also jeopardizing our own nation with our unthinking act as well as our unruly actions. So I would like to again thank all Malaysians for not answering the calls of the opposition members who has nothing to do but to make sure people see the unity government as bad for Malays and Muslims, and this clearly shows that they are unfit to become the government because they cannot tell the difference. How do you deal with the international guests, and also foreign diplomacy is something of which a party that seek to hold a country or a nation need to do. But obviously the opposition have shown that they are unfit to be the government or the sitting government or the government in waiting. Let them wait forever. Now, I would also like to thank Mr. Trump for being what I consider being a good guest. Um, he actually, when we see him arriving as well as when he left, I noticed very clearly that he took time, even in the hot sun, to actually, first of all, acknowledge all the dignitaries present, which is quite normal. But then he also acknowledges the dancers by him having his own dance, and I don't think it's inappropriate at all, because I think that shows he's acknowledging them and he respects them highly, and you could see him uh, um, waiting to listen and to see and to give enough notice to the dancers who were also um, having to be in the middle of the hot sun. Uh, I noticed also that he went to the children who were holding the flags, and he even asked for the flag of Malaysia and the United States, and he himself waved. And I think he was being a sporting leader as well as a leader who knows and values those who honor him. So, in a sense, he honors those who honors him, and this is something which I find good in a leader. Even though I've watched my favorite comedians, Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon. These are all my favorites, and they always have a lot of things to say, not nice things about Mr. Trump, which I follow, and a lot of the times I agree with their commentary, and I also disagree with a lot of things that Mr. Trump does. But I'm very, very thankful that he was such a good guest in honoring those who waited for him to arrive, and the fact that he asked the Prime Minister to ride with him shows again a good leadership who may want to have some private words, and also may also acknowledge that Malaysia is giving respect to his country, which is the United States, not just because of money or because of the foreign exchange in terms of exports or imports and things like that, but it is something which good leaders try to, I think, establish an informal and formal relationship by having these kinds of action and gestures, which is very, very meaningful actually in the what we call in the art of protocol. Protocol is protocol, but then when you do something that goes above protocol, that is either something that is considered kurang ajar, but also something that can be considered acknowledging and giving high respect. So I would like to thank Mr. Trump for being such a good guest, and his speech in ASEAN was also well delivered and controlled, unlike what I hear in his United Nations speech. I think that was a bit overboard, but I like to say that I appreciate what he has, his actions and also words are during the ASEAN meeting that shows Malaysia to be an incredible host. Kudos to the Prime Minister and the unity government, to all the political parties for making this nation in the eyes of the world. I think for the first time I feel very good in terms of being a Malaysian. I haven't felt like that in a very long time after all the stupid flag business, which I really feel very sad about. And thirdly, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to the police force, who has been acting in a most professional manner and have acted in a way of security, and has been very, very good in keeping those people who think that they are better than others in terms of humanitarian or humanitarianism, and the way they think to solve these atrocities is to shout abuses and to actually insult people, which anyone can say that that is not going to work. Even there were many, many thousands, but there was only a few hundred, 100 or 200, and I think this is attested by the Malaysian people who rejected this insane act of false humanitarianism in place of jeopardizing the future of this country with the partners around our country, and also in the further parts of the world like Canada and Brazil. These are also guests to our ASEAN summit, and thank you very much to the police force. Now finally, I would like to answer critics about the treatment that Trump got. First of all, to a certain mufti who's always criticizing the unity government and not knowing his own place as just a mufti. A mufti is just someone who'll just say this is halal, this is haram, that's about it. And also whether you should you should be able to get married 2, 3 or 4 wives, and knows nothing, absolutely nothing about diplomacy, international relations, knows nothing about being a prime minister of a coalition of different political parties. And I hope that this mufti understand the Malay adage of ukur baju di badan sendiri. And I'll say no more about it. Now, the other critique, it comes from, of course, the opposition members who says that we are treating Trump too much in terms of going overboard, with all the dances, with all the prime minister also having to do a little bit of jig with the president, and saying that this is putting a blemish on the reputation of Malaysia for trying to find a peaceful solution in Palestine. And I think this is totally an unfair criticism. When you are saying something about someone who is far away, that is one thing. And also, how do you say it? And then how do you manage the diplomacy then? But it's also another thing to say or to make a judgment when that person is actually in front of us here as a guest. The person was invited by us, and even then, some people say that we shouldn't do that because he's a criminal, blah blah blah, and this sort of thing. But how are you going to handle diplomacy and discussion with a very powerful country? Again, ukur baju di badan sendiri. We are not trying to beggar ourselves to the United States. And by inviting him, not only do we have all these business and economic advantages that Tengku Zafrul have said, a lot of things came out very nice for Malaysia. Not that we were begging, but I think this is the result of why we show this courtesy, adab, and diplomacy. Not like those who are very populist in terms of just following what people want to do in terms of hating non-Malays, non-Muslim with regard to the Palestinian issue, and just wanting to be at odds or being an enemy, declaring people kafir harbi and qunut nazilah and all that sort of thing. So these people are unfit to be government. And by this kind of diplomacy, we got not only those economic good packages, but we have a good relationship. And this is important for our students, our academics, our leaders, politicians, and even in the opposition. When they want to go to the United States, they won't be branded a terrorist. Because there are maybe some people are branded a terrorist, that's another issue. But point here is that we were able to show that Malaysia is not a terrorist country, at least not until somebody else is in power. So this is something which I think the opposition need to rethink their game. They say they want to be the government, but they are not fit to be a government if they think of diplomacy or the idea of international relations by insulting, by having demonstrators, by getting people to ride motorcycles and making all this noise. And well, I think that shows childish mentality and also an immature political stand. These are aspects of which I think luckily most Malaysians are more mature than this group of politicians, and I'm ashamed to be calling them members of Wakil Rakyat. So this is something which we as Malaysians need to take lessons from, that we need to look at who we call our enemies, and preferably we shouldn't call anybody enemies. We should only work together and see any issue not as a problem but just as an issue, and that with courtesy, with the discipline, with professionalism, with knowledge, and with ideas, we will be able to solve things, not with insults, not with empty demonstrations that shows pure ignorance, and not with the idea of making enemies to all people. So I think we have Malaysians and the unity government have passed the test of being a nation among nations. And I'm very proud of that, and hopefully that we will move forward into a more matured way of looking at our country. Hi everybody, if you would like to own my book and have my signature as well as a personal note from me, please follow the instruction. Thank you.